So there's a clip making the rounds from the weekend. Have you seen it? I'm going to show it because this is just unbelievable to see. Of Joe Biden being escorted off the stage while giving a speech out in Vegas. And it's causing a lot of Democrats right now. And everybody else, like in the middle and on the right, everybody is saying, are we sure that this is the guy? Like, is he capable? Really and truly, he does not look well. And it's uncomfortable. Let's watch. So if you're listening on audio, thank you very much for that. The Apple podcast. We're also on Spotify, by the way. You can listen to us on Spotify. But you see Joe Biden and President Obama there on stage, and the musicians are in the background, and Obama's waving at the crowd, and Joe's just kind of staring into the lights, and now he's getting escorted off the stage. He's just, it was very strange. He had this dazed and confused look on his face, and he has to be escorted off of the stage. It's like he doesn't really know where he is, and you look at him, and you probably think about your grandfather or a loved one, a parent, or, I have had loved ones who have been very challenged later in life, and you see that look, and if you're like me, you know that look, okay? Again, no doctor here. But I've seen that before, and it's concerning. I mean, as much as you might want to, like people will laugh at this or say, oh, it's taken out of context. I can tell you it's not taken out of context entirely because there's a few too many of these things. Look at him, just kind of not knowing what to do. He's just standing there looking at the crowd. Obama's waving, and then, he just doesn't know quite where to go, what to do. And we've seen this over and over again. Here he is being now escorted off of the stage there. And it's a very weak moment for the president of the United States. It's not a great look. Look, we've had a lot of this, right? I don't even like seeing these. And I, as an American, don't like it because I'm too patriotic to show this in some kind of loop. But, he fell at the Air Force graduation ceremony. And the falling stuff, that's really concerning. He now has to wear special shoes. You start to say, what's going on? He was dancing the other night, if you can call it dancing. They need some rhythm, baby, in the Democrat Party. None of them got it. Kamala, what the heck? And her hubby, forget about it. This is the Juneteenth celebration. And they can't dance. Anyway, you see them all. And poor Biden is sort of almost in this dazed, what's going on there, sir, right? Because he's just looking off into the crowd, spacing out, and it's concerning. And you can see people next to him are hey, trying to make him feel a little bit better. He finally starts smiling, but he seems old, right? 81 years old. He's an old 81-year-old. I am not an ageist. If you're 81 and you got it going on, okay, by all means. But this guy is an old 81-year-old. And just the other day, I've shown you this clip. If you watch the show and you subscribe to the show, I actually am worried about him here, guys. In all seriousness, this is a bunch of reporters asking him some questions as he's trying to tout his economic plan, and it's very awkward. Clearly, he's not well, and this is starting to feel extraordinarily bad. Let's watch this clip.
I better not start the questions. I'll get in trouble.
What's your message for Super Tuesday voters?
Everyone, please move this way.
Super Tuesday, so do you have a message for voters?
Thanks, come on.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
You see that? Now he's still looking off at the reporters. It looks as though he's struggling to breathe in some ways. Like he might even feel a little bit nauseous there as he sits. And I don't even want to imagine him getting up from that chair. That's why, as we think about the debate that's happening, I can tell you his staff is going to be thrilled that he's going to be standing, because how do you get him up out of the chair after the fact? This is not good. This is not good in any way, shape, or form. And I think people are starting to ask the appropriate questions. A new report out today in the Daily Mail, they're doing a big deep dive on whether or not this is really going to be the guy that runs. Let me share with you the headline. And this comes after Nate Silver from 538's reporting just recently. If we look at Daily Mail's headline, it's pretty concerning. Secret Democrat plot to replace Biden revealed. How Clinton, Obama, Pelosi, and Schumer will topple the aging president and when they'll do it. So there's a lot of chatter about something happening during the convention, et cetera. And this is a very speculative or speculation style piece, I should say, because I I don't know as they can go there. And I'm going to tell you why. If they do this, then you really do have some kind of constitutional crisis on hand. I mean, if he wants to be president, he says he should be president. If he's not well, he's not able to be president, then who takes the car keys away? If you have an elderly parent and they really, really, really want to drive, even though they shouldn't be driving, you know how hard they cling to those car keys? They're going to cling and cling and cling, because as soon as you take those car keys away, that means their freedom as they know it, their power has ended. Just imagine if you had not a set of car keys, but the keys to the free world, and someone's trying to take them away. That does not happen easily. And so it would have to be the Democrats, clearly, because the Republicans, it would be perceived as too political. And increasingly these days, it looks like it's not entirely crazy. It's not, because of his health. And I'll go to the poll numbers. It's his health and it's his disapproval, for goodness sakes. I mean, Nate Silver reported his recent approval numbers have gone all the way down to 37.4%. That's bad. Like, that's worse than Jimmy Carter. That is worse than any president in modern history at this time. So, as Nate writes, dropping out would be a big risk. But there's some, quote, threshold below which continuing to run is a bigger risk. Are we there yet? I don't know. But it's more than fair to ask. Okay, so he's asking that question. I mean, he had written as well that, clearly, they should not have gone for the second term. They should have come up with somebody else. There are a whole lot of candidates that would have given anything to have this gig and probably could have won. And yet they decided to run Biden. Again, car keys, right? He wasn't going to give up. He wasn't going to give this away. And so now they're finding themselves in a very tricky spot.